trying a new little setup here with a different camera thing, and then I just screwed it up. So that's fun. This has been Paul from PABrewNews. No, I guess this is Paul from PABrewNews because this was a little bit of a mess up. Anyway, it happens. What do we got here? Stone Tangerine Express IPA, an India Pale Ale packed with whole tangerines and pineapples at 6.7 alcohol by volume, less than 2 months old, from California. Excuse me. I've had some of it already because I was doing the review and then the camera shut off because apparently I did it wrong. Anyway, let's go back into it. It's a very light straw honey color, but there's tons of piffy particleization just floating around everywhere. Big pillowy head. And then you just get bombarded with pine dankness. You get tons of grapefruit, and then you get that tangerine. You don't get a lot of the pineapple on the aroma. It's more just big grapefruit, pine dankness, earthiness, and then that back end of the tangerine. All right, cheers. I've already sipped on this a few times, so I already know what I'm going to say. It is drying, very low-key on the sweetness. Almost a subtle hint of a caramel or a bready sweetness, and that is it. It is bombarding you with that really pithy, bitter tangerine. The high point of the flavor compound, at the very high point, I actually get a little bit more grapefruit than tangerine, but the tangerine is in there. And those citrus notes are working together to be a bitter bitch. And right on the back end, when that pine comes in with all that dankness, you do get the pineapple, but it's on the back end. Really nice. You're gonna have to enjoy a really bitter, drying, playful, zesty IPA to enjoy this, because it really doesn't give you too much to enjoy any kind of malt base, even a subtle malt base. It just has all this pulpy, piffy intensity to it with that bitterness from the citrus notes. And on the back end, like I said, it is very drying, very dank, a little bit of that dank pine, and then riding through all that chaos, that's when you really pick up hints of that grapefruit, or the pineapple rather. So, there it is. Here this is. Now we read. Okay. A tropical IPA that transports you to a hop-induced state. Wah, 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 wah. Anyway, imagine the tropical haze of a lazy afternoon into evening. Your official duties for the day have been maybe to hike into a secluded waterfall, perhaps grill something, definitely chill with plenty of sand between your toes. I hate sand. And crack open a phenomenal beer to complete the experience. Check, 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 and poof, check. Welcome to our Vacation Transportation Express. This ain't no just add juice approach. This isn't just any, English, whatever. This one is for adults. We use bountiful whole tangerine puree, which brings piffy, crisp bitterness to the citrus flavor, in addition to the complexities of the tangerine, the likes of which you can only get from using whole fruit. With judiciously employed just a hint of whole pineapple for a back note, you would likely not even pick it out if we didn't tell you it was in there. I can get the back note, as I said, of that, just that hint of a pineapple. I'm not a big fan of pineapple, so if I taste it, I kind of know it's there, if you know what I mean. Maybe that's a thing. If you really don't like the flavor of something and you get it, then you'll know it, if you know what I mean. It's easier for you to pick it out. Anyway, let's go on. Let's see. We're not looking for a sweet concoction to appease the I want my beer to taste like fruit juice crowd. This is Stone. We like our IPAs to taste like an IPA. Big, bold, and not for kids. Well, this one does all that in spades. It is very bitter. It is very tannic in the dryingness almost. I guess tannic really isn't the right word, but drying. Super dank, drying. Very low key on the sweetness from the malt base, and that piffy combo just comes together pretty well, and it attacks your palate. I mean, this is one of those subtly, I don't know, it wants to be passive, but it really does attack your palate. Maybe not as much as some beers out there, but this one definitely does. So it's not going to be a beer for everybody, but it's for what it is, it's pretty damn good. Too bad it wasn't like 10.5 ABV or something like that, because you know how you can't have a lot of it because it keeps on attacking your palate. If you're not going to have a lot of it, at least make it like, you know, super boozy. Yeah. As far as like tangerine, I get wafts of tangerine notes and a lot of things, that piffy goodness, that zestiness, but just coming through the tangerine, the grapefruit, I love, I'm a big sucker. So is my buddy Joe. He's a big sucker for blood orange, that juicy, sweet, vibrant blood orange. We're not getting in. I'm not getting this in here, but I'm not trying to compare that to that. But I'm just saying, I get tangerine and a few different things. This one is so forward on that. I really enjoyed tasting the tangerine, but then it kind of turns right around and just completely dries your palate out and destroys you. It's very different, very interesting beer. A very interesting beer. This one's a different one. It's very good. It's not really delicious, though. I wouldn't consider this to be a delicious beer, honestly. I'm sorry. I'm just like, out of all the beers that I've had so far, or as of lately or whatever, of the big IPAs or whatever, I wouldn't call this like delectably delicious. I would call this a palate destroyer after you don't care what else, if you don't care what else you're going to drink afterwards, or, you know, whatever. So I'm probably going to throw this one. It's good. So I'm going to give it an 8.5. I think that is perfectly fine. Grade for this one, 8.5 out of 10 is perfectly fine. It's not going to be for everybody. And even though I do enjoy it, it's not, you know what I mean? It's not something really to, ooh, the burp is fantastic though. But it's not something that I would seek out again. I would say that. Well, anyway. I still got a bunch of it, so I'm happy about that. My voice just changed. Maybe my balls will finally drop. Stone Tangerine Express IPA is going to get an 8.5 out of 10 for me. This has been Paul from PABrewNews. Cheers. And unfortunately, you're so far away now, I have to do that awkward walk to the camera. I need one of those. There you go. I don't know if they make those for the smartphones. I don't know. Maybe you have to be smarter than a smartphone. That ain't gonna happen. Okay. I'm so old. Don't ever get old. It sucks.